Welcome back, world, to the Black Bookshelf Podcast. I'm your host, Nick Walker, back with the homie Marina K. How you feeling today?
I'm good.
That's what's up, bro. We back with another book, All the Sinners Bleed by S.A. Cosby. And I really enjoyed this one. This was another recommendation, highly recommended by Marina K and everybody on social media. This book was amazing. It was a thriller. It was creepy. It was bloody. It was a lot of shit. So let's get right on into it. How did you feel about the book?
I enjoyed the book, but this is my fourth S.A. Cosby book.
Yeah.
It's not like at the top for me, but it was
Okay.
good.
Yeah. I know what you're saying. I think I kind of like King of Ashes better.
Yeah,
Yeah. And this is my second S.A. Cosby book. But I like this one for different reasons. Then I like King of Ashes, but I do prefer King of Ashes.
yeah. Razor Blade Tears is my favorite, but I prefer King of Ashes over All the Sinners Bleed.
Okay. Okay. So we're gonna hop right on into it. I'm gonna read a quick summary and then we'll get into some questions. All the Sinners Bleed is a gritty southern noir thriller set in Sharon County, Virginia, a small town with a violent, troubled history. The story centers on Titus Crown, the first black sheriff in the county's history, who returned home after a career with the FBI, hoping to transform the justice system from within. At the start of his tenure, the community is bracing for a controversial neo-Confederate parade celebrating the region's past. But things take a darker turn when a school shooting shocks the town. A beloved teacher is killed by a former student who is then fatally shot by deputies. As Titus investigates the incident, he discovers hidden horrors beneath the town's calm facade, including evidence on the teacher's phone that links him and another man to the ritualistic murders of several black children. A mysterious third figure known only as the masked last wolf appears connected to these crimes. With tensions rising along racial, religious, and political lines, Titus must navigate deep-seated prejudice, corruption, and danger on all sides to uncover the truth and stop the killer. Along the way, he confronts his own painful past and wrestles with what justice really means in a town where history still weighs heavily on the present. So that was a quick summary. Let's hop right on into it. Marina K, three things that you liked about this book, All the Sinners Bleed.
Okay, so the three things I liked. I like Titus overall as a character. I usually don't like people who work in law enforcement in books, but he
Mhm.
seemed to be a leader, and like had genuine intent. Like he wanted to make a difference in his community, and so I liked that about him. I also liked when it was discovered that Gabriel or Royce, the killer, was adopted and white passing. That was a good twist or turn. And I like the deputy Carla Ortiz. She seemed to really like respect and admire Titus.
Mhm.
I didn't really get that from his other deputies, especially after he put one of them on administrative leave. I feel like she still like respected his decision. She might didn't understand it or agree with it, but she respected him and the steps he was taking to make their community better. So I liked her.
Yeah, that's dope. I think me and you had a few in common. I really did. I really enjoyed Titus Crown. Um, I really, I also enjoyed the fact that he was a strong leader. He had a troubled past. He also, like other S.A. Cosby books, had a mother that had passed away. He had to navigate that. Um, and he had a father, that he had a great relationship with. But I also
Mhm.
felt like that he wasn't no pushover,
Yeah.
and he was in enforcement for the right reasons. He had came back to his hometown to basically kind of save his hometown in a sense,
Yeah.
and I also enjoyed the fact that the S.A. Cosby named him Titus because in the Bible, Titus is sent to communities to kind of rid it of trauma, to rid it of evil. by Paul the apostle. So
Mhm.
I thought that was a dope name, Titus Crown. I also enjoyed the racial tension theme that was intertwined in the small Virginia town as well,
Yeah.
as in a serial killer. I always feel like every Southern book should have race intertwined. I feel like
Yeah.
it's unrealistic, even if it's fiction, if it doesn't have race intertwined. So I thought that was dope. And like you said, I did love the twist of the white passing but black serial killer. I thought that was a crazy twist, um, especially for him to be murdering black kids. But for the people out there that hadn't read the book but will read the book or have read the book, it's definitely reasoning behind it. It's crazy reasoning, but it's reasoning behind it. So I thought that was pretty dope. Um, Three things that you didn't like about the book, All the Sinners Bleed.
Okay, so I didn't see the point of Titus's girlfriend, Darlene.
Me neither.
I was just like, why is she here?
Yeah.
He don't really he wasn't displaying like his love for her. It's just like she was just like a placeholder. And I didn't see the point of her at all. Like he could have just been single.
But shit, niggas be having placeholders in their real life, men and women.
I know, but it's like we barely when we heard about her, it was just, her being worried about him, which okay, I get that because he worked in law enforcement, but like there was no depth to that relationship.
Right.
So I
Right.
didn't see the point of it. And then I didn't like that his mother was deceased because I feel like I just went over there in King of Ashes.
Hmm.
And it's just like, damn, ain't nobody got a mama?
Nope. And then you know what? Titus like that. He like that aggressive rough play in the bed too, just like the main character in King of
King
Ashes.
of
Except
Ashes. So I was just like, okay, ain't nobody got a mama. Everybody got mama issues. And then the thing I really didn't like was that he resigned just to move to Louisiana and go teach.
yeah, but I feel like you can still make a sequel to that with him getting back in the game in Louisiana. But I
You
also,
can. You can.
but I will say this, like I did find that kind of strange because I feel like with his spiritual and religious like background of him not like not understanding God, not appreciating God. He didn't like none of the religious stuff. Why would you move to a place where religion is even more deeply rooted, and
Right.
racism is probably more deeply rooted?
That's why I was just like, you did all of that. I feel like he gave up.
Yeah,
As far as
yeah.
I just feel like he just gave up and he thought he'd be able to make a difference by teaching, but it's just like you was in the position to make a difference. And you let
Most
this
definitely.
one
But I
case
feel
deter
like
you.
what you say?
And you let this one case deter you. And you just
Man, come on
resign.
now, though, Nigel. If you think, imagine if you was a black investigator in a white town, and you just had to see the horrific stuff that he just had to see, and then you almost died doing this shit.
He was in the FBI. So
Nah, bro. Nah, bro. That I could totally get him moving somewhere else to work in a different state as an investigator or a lead detective or whatever. But moving to Louisiana is the part that I really, really did not get that part. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
that didn't make sense to me. But if he like it, I love it. Go enjoy Louisiana.
I think the thing that I didn't like the most about Titus' character is kind of like what you said, but a little bit different. I feel like he didn't come to a spiritual resolution within himself and God.
Yeah.
Like I feel like he was one of them people that that had a mother pass away early on, and he went through trauma, and he's still dealing with that trauma, and he done seen a lot of stuff in law enforcement and in the world, and especially in this case. But he act like people don't go through shit every day. You know, shit happens. You know what I'm saying? Like his whole thing is God need to come down right now and save everything and everybody, and it just ain't, that just
It
ain't
don't
how it
work
works.
like that.
Yeah, that just ain't how it works. So I feel like, you know, I'm not gonna tell the ending, but you know, the scene where his mother comes back, like where he sees a vision of his mother and his mother tells him to get up to save this child. Like I feel like that part should have been his spiritual awakening to
Yeah,
wow, like
it makes sense.
yeah, like I feel like that part should have been his spiritual awakening, but it just wasn't. And I did not like that part about the book. I feel like the killer isn't introduced until almost the very end. Like
Mm.
I'm sitting here reading the book and I'm like, damn, I got like 40 pages left. Like, how is this case gonna break?
How's it gonna
Yeah,
go?
yeah, how is this case gonna break? How is it gonna happen? And you know, when it does, but you know, I feel like, you know, that's part of it. I think he wanted it to be like that. And I think the fact that the third wolf, the killer, is black, but he's passing as white. I feel like that could cause you to hide in plain sight in a sense, you know,
Yeah,
because I felt like after he got the profile and he sat down with the family, he knew that he was looking for pretty much possibly a black person that's passing as white. But when you look white, shit, you could be hiding in plain sight, you know.
right.
Um, I also feel like sometimes the book was a little bit too gory. Like I feel like
Yeah, it was like towing a line of horror and crime fiction.
exactly. Like I feel like I was reading more of a horror, like horror fiction, and
Yeah.
you know, it kind of reminded me of some of the scenes he described. Kind of remind me of that Ryan Murphy show, Grotesquerie. If you ever watched it, with
I
Niecy
saw one
Nash as the main
episode
character.
and checked out.
Man, that shit is exactly what like it's over the top, but it's a great show, but it's over the top. But I did feel like, you know, some of the crime scenes were just like, come on now, dog. Like,
It's a lot.
did he have to do all that, you know?
Right. Yeah.
Um, okay, we're gonna switch lanes a little bit. Talk to me about your favorite part or your favorite line or whatever of All the Sinners Bleed.
Yeah. So I know we're not doing spoilers, but the moment when his mom appeared to him, like everything
Mm-hmm,
leading up to that,
mm-hmm,
um, I liked the pacing and it felt like I was watching a movie. I could actually picture it. So that was
mm-hmm.
my favorite scene.
Yeah, and I wrote the exact same scene. I felt like, but like once again, I feel like that was gonna be his spiritual awakening. But I feel like that was like legit movie type shit. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like you know, he it was looking rough for him. It was looking bad, and you know,
Looking like the light at the end of the tunnel.
exactly. It wasn't looking good, and it gave him that boost he needed. And I thought that was like real dope. Like, have you ever watched dang, what is that? Dang, what I gotta think of this show, but it's Matthew McConaughey, the first season of it's on HBO Max. Hold on, I gotta look it up. Matthew McConaughey, True Crime,
Oh, is it True Detective or something?
True Detective.
I have not seen that show.
I'm gonna tell you something. If you watch True Detective season one, because each season is like it's an anthology. So each season, even though it's crime, it's like different actors.
Okay, gotcha.
So yeah, so you can literally watch any season at any given time, and
Okay.
they not connected. But um, season one, Matthew McConaughey, and that white man from White Man's Can't Jump, can't think of his name right now.
I can't think of his name either.
Woody Harrelson, that's his name. Matthew McConaughey, Woody Harrelson. This book is just like that first season in a sense.
Mm.
Like like the same type of murder, like the types of murders. Like it's just like kind of just like, except I would say you gotta kind of take out the racial element, even though it happens in Louisiana, you kind of take out the racial element.
Yeah.
Um, so if this movie, I mean, if this book was a movie or a TV series, who would you see casted as the main character?
So All the Sinners Bleed is actually being adapted to TV.
Hmm.
And so I looked at the casting because I couldn't think of anybody um for
Oh, they already
Titus.
casted.
And they've already casted it, and I agree with the casting.
Who's playing
Soapy
Titus?
Derizu is Titus Crown.
Who?
Titus Crown is Soapy Derizu.
I gotta look who
He
that.
played
What
in
what he played?
he played in Black, was it Black Rabbit? It was a Netflix series with Jude Law, an old boy from Ozark.
I don't agree with this. I was thinking about Morris
You
Chestnut.
know, Morris Chestnut, really? I ain't mad at it though.
Hey, if you think about it though, like I ain't gonna lie, Morris Chestnut play on that show is like Watson. He like a detective.
I haven't seen Watson yet. I was
Yeah,
waiting on somebody to tell me like if it's worth watching.
I just picture Morris Chestnut is like, he ain't country by no means. So him being in Virginia could be a stretch, but he, a big nigga in like a sheriff in a sheriff outfit, like I can see that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And because some of my favorite scenes I feel like was Titus snapping at that old racist dude that would pop up in his office and tell him, the
Oh, the
the
chairman of the board.
yeah, the chairman of the board. So I could just see Morris Chestnut snapping off on old racist white men, you know what I'm saying? And then I had picked Isaiah Whitlock, rest in peace to him. He was one of my
Oh,
favorites.
yeah.
But Isaiah Whitlock is Albert, the father. Like I feel like that'll be dope. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the Netflix show.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. Like I said, this wasn't my favorite S.A. Cosby book, but it's still good. I think my reading experience is what affected it because I listened to the audio and it
Mm.
was the same narrator as King of Ashes, but King of Ashes was just better to me.
Well, King of Ashes is more of, I feel like it's just more urban, and I feel like we just gonna gravitate towards it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's like our era of readers, our age, we gonna gravitate towards that just due to we being in the hip hop era. You got D boys, you got gangsters, you got a kingpin. Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, we gonna gravitate towards it. This right here is great writing, and he got depth, he got layers, but it is some things that I didn't like you said. Why is the girlfriend in it? The girlfriend's really in it just to show that he ain't focused on having a woman. That's really, you know what I'm saying, and that just is what it is. What would you rate this book, All the Sinners Bleed? What would you give it?
I'm gonna give it a 4.
Give it a 4.
Yeah.
I can see that. I give it a 4.5 off the strength that I do appreciate the elements of small town, small southern town, um, people people like using religion in a bad way to provoke violence.
Yeah.
You got the racial tension in a small town. When he wrote this book, and still to this day, you got all these people fighting over these Confederate monuments and all this type of shit. And
Mhm.
in the South they love to embrace losers. So, you know, so I feel like the amount of realism inside of a true crime, like a crime fiction novel, was dope. But I can't give it a 5 because it ain't King of Ashes. It is not. You know what I'm saying? Even though we gravitate towards King of Ashes because it is kind of gangster shit.
Yeah.
It's great writing as well. So so yeah, we're gonna wrap this book up. I enjoyed it. We got a book club meeting coming up on Thursday where we gonna talk about All the Sinners Bleed with everybody that want to join. Um, if you like what you're seeing, subscribe to the Black Bookshelf podcast. We got a bunch of more book reviews coming and a bunch of more content. So hit that subscribe button below and peace out.
Peace out.